Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome to Phoenix Iwaki. Welcome to Virtual Greyhawk Con number 3, 2022. Welcome, everybody. This is the opening session of this weekend's adventures, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here with my fine players and all of you people over there in chat as well. Baboonski, hello, I see you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping up. Those of you that are getting up bright and early to kick things off with us here, thank you so much. I am over in Japan, so it's a very civilized time of day for me. But thank you so much to everyone who's getting up bright and early, my players, and everyone in chat there as well. It's great to have everyone here with us already. I saw our illustrious leader, Lord Gasamba Jay, was there as well. All the best for this weekend, my friend. I hope it goes as swimmingly and as fantastically as possible, I'm looking forward to getting things rolling here. Now, we are going to be playing a little game that I have called Fear and Loathing in the Dreadwood. So, without further ado, I will let these players of mine introduce themselves once their characters take the stage. But before that, let us just set the scene, if you will. Now, the sleepy fishing town of Saltmarsh, where nothing really ever happens, is nestled on the coast. But to the south lie the dark depths of the Dreadwood. Deep within those trees and tangled undergrowth, there is one particular terror, one particular menace that threatens the region from time to time. The ancient night hag known as Granny Nightshade. One who cavorts with devils, brings forth the undead from the Shadowfell, and causes all sorts of mischief up and down the coast here for those in charge in the region of Kierland. Usually, that is not too much of a problem, as though her keep, her lair, Castle Spiral, deep, deep in the depths, the dreaded depths, as they are known, of the Dreadwood. It is half in this world, the material plane, and half in the Shadowfell. And using that gateway, those that like to draw on the power of the Shadow Realm flock to the Dreadwood and to Granny Nightshade's minions. But there is a limit to how much of that shadow energy can come through. There is a limit to how much problem she can be. Or at least that's how it always was. Recently, her incursions have become bolder. The minions becoming hordes of undead, boldly striking out from the Dreadwood into the surrounding region, causing all manner of trouble and terror for the Wood Elf clans on the borders of the wood, and those at Burl Keep, where mercenaries and knights often strike back at the denizens of the Dreadwood and try to keep them in check. It was word of this increased activity that reached those higher-ups in Kioland, and it is they that hired this group of experienced and deadly warriors. Skilled also in survival and stealth, perfect for the infiltration that was needed for this particular mission. you three travelled to Burl Keep, and it was there that you met in the grove of trees in its central courtyard with Wonderroot, the treant that acts as liaison between the good-natured members of the Dreadwood and residents of the Dreadwood and those who seek to protect its borders. Wonderroot, in order with the Wild Flame Pact, instructed all of you of the growing dangers that Granny Nightshade presents, and told you of an agent of theirs, a forest gnome shaman by the name of Dr. Gonzo, who had made recently his theorized ideas on the use of a certain type of fungi known as ghostcaps to enable one to slip from this world into the border ethereal and thus pass unnoticed through otherwise dangerous regions. Recently, at Burl Keep, they received a sending spell that Dr. Gonzo had indeed discovered some of these ghost caps, and they were as effective as he hoped. But the sending was cut off short, and you three were dispatched to his last known location, the arranged meetup point on the edge of the forest. The three of you, travelling by cart, hurried south to the borders of the Dreadwood. And lo and behold, as we see you approaching, there is a frantically jumping and waving forest gnome, his brightly coloured shirt and strange tinted glassware approached the top of his nose, waving his hands frantically. Hey, over here! Hey, you lot! Quick, come on! And it is this scene that our adventurers approach. Let us hear from them, going around the overlay, clockwise from myself here. Anda, who are you in the real world? Where are you at now? And who are you playing?
Good morning, my name is Matt. It's a casualty on the channels there. Out of Virginia, I'll be playing Ander Legallo, a stout halfling totem barbarian.
Thank you very much. Next up, Timo, who are you in the real world? Who are you playing, and where are they at?
Howdy, y'all. I'm Dennis, Phantom491 in the chats there. I am playing Timo Quietfoot, a halfling rogue bard, Lightfoot halfling, to be exact. Glad to be here.
Good to have you. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, by any measure you care to employ, Talus.
Hi, I'm Rob. Phantom NJ, all over the place. You can find me on Twitter at PhantomNJ_D&D. I am playing Talus Fiendstalker, a Grugak elf ranger, very, very much of the hunting variety.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, as the three of you, perched atop your wagon, clatter down the dusty, bumpy trail towards the outskirts of the Dreadwood, you see the diminutive form of Dr. Gonzo leaping up and down. You pull back on the reins and the cart screeches to a stop next to your agent here, your contact, and he quickly scrambles up onto the front board, and he looks wildly at you. We can't stop here. And he looks up at the sky. This is bad country. And he slams the reins down, whipping the horses into a gallop, and the wagon goes careering down the path. And as it does so, suddenly there is a terrible roar all around you, and the sky is full of what look like huge bats, all swooping and screeching and diving around the carts. I would like you all to roll initiative. Okay. There, I'm done with my Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas quotes now.
25.
Okay, let me just quickly grab this here. Just getting my turn order up and ready here. Spelljammers. They would be tiny spelljammers. They're huge bats, but they would be tiny spelljammers. Okay, let's get these in here. I'm just whilst we're not using Roll20 on screen today, folks, I am going to be using it over on the sides here just to keep track of everything. And let's put this down. Alright. So yes, these large silhouettes of these bat-winged creatures come swooping down. Sign indeed that Granny Nightshade's influence is extending even here to the outskirts of the forest itself. And well, almost fully sorted. Okay. Go. One more of those. Okay, so as we kick things off here, Ander, how was yours?
20.
20, nice. And Timo.
25.
Oof, here we go. Talis?
Alice has not yet had his coffee. He's only 13.
That'll do. Above a 10 is good. Okay, and let's get our bat friends in here as well.
By the way, with the alert fee, I can't be surprised.
No worries. Good to know. How do we go there? Okay. So, with the alert feats in your favor there, Timo, you are the first to react as these giant bats come swooping down from above the tree line, down onto the cart as it hurtles along the road here. Dust and small stones are flying up, and Dr. Gonzo is in the front. He's like, and poof, slaps the reins again and again, driving the carts. Keep them off our backs! We gotta get out of here! Timo.
I'm gonna try to shoot one of them.
Go for it.
That will be a total of a 10.
A 10? That's not enough, I'm afraid. You got 2 attacks here?
And let's see.
Sorry, escape the pregnant pause.
Oh, that's an action.
So, folks, while you're checking it out, actually, I have been remiss, my friends. Baboonsky in chat. I apologise, Baboonsky. Let us get things rolling. We did do your pre-reel for those wonderful people at Troll Games, but not only are they giving us beautiful pre-reels to show to you people, they are also sponsoring our giveaway today as well. Boom, there it is! Exclamation mark enter in the chat for your chance to win, everybody. We have awesome giveaways for you today. Jump in on that. And Baboonsky, can you check a Discord message there for me, please? Yes, Timo.
I'm gonna say, give bonus action, but also kind of give warning. We got bats in the belfry. I mean, on top of the wagon, and doing bardic inspiration on the ranger.
Nice. Okay.
Ugh.
Done. Thank
That's
you.
That gives him a D6, I think.
Okay. Thank you. Is that for your turn? We don't have to worry about movement. You're on the back of
That's
a speeding wagon. Okay, thank you. Which brings us to Ander.
All
Up the end screen.
So, Ander will move up towards the back of the cart. He's going to bring up his great axe. First, he's going to go ahead and, just as a precaution, go into his rage. He's going to do a swing to hit.
Like your character art is pre-raged.
Exactly. So that's a natural 20.
Okay. Nice. That'll do it. Now, how we do nat 20s on the channel here, Ander, we do it's the maximum possible plus one more roll of the dice. So, for example,
Okay.
if it was a d6 plus 4, it would be 10 plus a d6.
Okay, so that should be 26 total
Nice.
damage for the
There
first
is a
swing.
phrase that we have here on Phoenix Iwaki that goes, "Tell me what happens."
He reaches back, full draw, swings through the bat, and you just see basically the body disappear and 2 wings flutter down to the ground.
Yep, okay, so it comes swooping in. You settle your feet back over your shoulder. With the power of your rage behind it, slices the thing in two. There's a slight bump as it disappears under the wheels. And we carry on to Talus.
So if they're all swarming about us, Talus thinks momentarily about pulling his bow, but decides better of it, pulls his short sword out, and swipes at the first one.
Go for it.
No. No.
You're gonna get raided, Timo.
18.
About to.
18 hits.
I can choose when to use the Bardic Inspiration, right?
Yep.
That's 6 on the first attack,
Nice.
and that's okay.
How'd you go?
1 on the die.
If you got them, folks, let those phoenixes fly.
So yeah, 8 total.
Okay, yes, okay. So the one, I think as it swoops down, you cut it across, but just the momentum of the creature just like buffets you, almost knocks you off the wagon as it swoops past you. Okay, and that brings us to the giant bats. Anything else in your turn, sorry, Talus? Any bonus actions?
No, none this turn.
Okay, we have 2 on each of you and 1 to spare. We should roll to see where that one goes. There were 8 of these creatures swooping down. 1 of them is gone. There are 7 remaining. But you see, as they come swooping down, there is something different about these giant bats. These are not natural creatures. They seem to have been warped and infected by Granny Nightshade's magic, and you can see an eldritch glow in their eyes. And as they swoop at you, their wings crackle, lightning playing around the edges of the wings. And as they swoop down, sparking energy goes out from their wings to the wagon and rattles through the whole thing. And as we had that spectacular hype train in Wild Beyond the Witchlight earlier, we have some wild magic surges to throw your way, gentlemen. So, Ander, let's start with you on our Barbarian Wild Magic table. What was your D100?
72.
72. Babunska, I hope you haven't got 7 ex-wives. Is it 72, sorry, Ander?
Yes.
Okay, for the next minute, any creature you reduce to 0 hit points is knocked unconscious and stabilized. Oh, for the bats, Sander, for the bats. the gentler barbarian. It's okay. You'll purge them of Granny Nightshade's magic, and they can return to their roosts and their peaceful woodland lives. And they'll be unconscious until you're long gone, so that's good. It's as good as. Okay, Timo, how about yours? Rogue, right?
48, yes.
48 on the rogue table. Let me get my PDF up here. Bear with me. Hey, 48 is... You blurt out a password or other random secret. Anything you want to share with the class, Timo? Sirenscape, the pregnant pause. Waiting. What's it gonna be?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. My mind just went blank on that one.
Okay, let me jump in there for you then. So Timo just like suddenly blurts out, "We ain't getting paid enough for this shit."
That works.
Okay, and Talus, how about yourself?
43.
What was your major class again?
I'm sorry, say it again. 43 was the roll.
43 is the roll, and what was your main class?
Ranger.
Ranger, thank you. Ranger, 43. Okay. Okay. The furthest enemy away from you within 100 feet casts Pass Without a Trace. So some of these bats as they swoop past you. The one further out on the outskirts of the swarm, if you will, on the edge of this this flock, starts to shimmer and disappear in the air.
What fresh hell is this?
Okay, so it is their turn as they come swooping in towards you all. So let's see how we're going here. So first, there's 2 on each of you. So tell me how we're going. How does this sound as far as your AC goes? So Ander, 15.
That will not connect.
Okay, and the second one is also a 15. Timo, 21.
That's a hit.
Okay, that's 6 piercing. And 14.
Meets it.
Ooh, so that's 7 piercing. So this one swoops in and just like gouges into your shoulder as it goes swooping by the top of the cart. And Talus, we have 17.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, and a dirty 20 for a total of 7 piercing damage.
Ouch.
So it swoops in and takes a chunk out of you. Okay, there's like screeching, and they're clearly maddened by whatever these eldritch forces have infected their minds from Granny Nightshade, and they are just just swooping in and taking bites out of whatever they can get their teeth into. Not vampire bats, I'm happy to say. But that takes us back to Timo, top of the round.
All right. I'm in melee with them now, so I'm gonna switch to my short sword.
Yes, go for it.
That's green. That's a 21.
21 hits.
That's 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. Hang on. Easy sorry. Sorry, it started to overlap with itself there. Okay. And so the damage again, sorry?
8.
8 damage. Okay, nice. That one is on its last legs, as we like to say here, which means it is at 10 HP or less. Anything else on your turn there, Timo?
I'm gonna go Bardic Inspiration on the Barbarian.
Okay.
Nice. Good job.
Thank
Do
you.
it again.
You got this. Okay, as they come swooping in, swooping around, buffeting you on the top of the cart here. That brings us to said Barbarian, inspired as he is.
All right, so Ander will run up to the driver's seat and jump off in the air, swinging his great axe twice again.
Okay.
Another natural 20.
Nice.
That is 27 damage.
Okay. So yes, you swing. This is a great axe, you said?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you swing the mighty great axe towards the creature, and as you do, those eyes meet you with that glow in the back of them there, and you kind of like mellow out, and at the last minute you spin the blade, and the flat of the blade smacks into it and knocks it unconscious, and it rolls into the hedge.
All right, and the second attack was a 16, if that connects.
It does.
And that will be another 8 damage.
Nice. Okay, noted. Thank you, and that brings us to Talus. Get it, boys!
Yeah. Short sword, as one comes near, take a swipe at it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the Bardic Inspiration because while I have it,
Ouch.
that brings it up to a 13. I don't think that's still
Nice.
Oh well. All right. Second swing.
Is it a 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, that beats it.
Oh, okay. Well, 7 on the first, and then I only rolled a 10 on the second strike. So.
Okay. Thank you. Trying to remember my own commands. Yeah, there we go. But 10, that'll put it on its last legs. It's looking very worse for wear. In case it goes swooping by. Okay, thank you. And that was nothing else on your turn?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, that brings us to the creatures as they come swooping in again, and we have a nice even 2 on each of you now, as they spiral around, coming for a second swoop. Giant bats. Let's see here. So, Ander. 18.
18 will connect.
And a 16.
16 misses.
Okay, so 7 piercing. Timo, a couple of them just blot out the sky as they come swooping and hovering over you, beating their wings frantically, keeping pace with the wagon as it rattles along the edge of the Dreadwood, and their fangs hungrily reach for you, but only a 6. But the second is a 21, so that's 6 piercing. And last but not least, Talus. The other ones come swooping around towards you. 19.
That's going to hit.
And a 9 will miss, so that's 3 piercing.
Oh, wait, bloody.
You are, Timo?
Yep.
Okay. So, that brings us to the top. It's your Timo. You're a bloodied rogue.
Swing again.
Go for it.
That's a 16.
Hits.
Total of 7 damage.
That one is going to be biting you no more as you cut it out of the sky.
1 down, 1 to go.
Any more?
And I'm going to go ahead and, even though he's not NPC, I'm going to go ahead and give inspiration to our driver.
Nice.
Help his driving roll.
Okie doke. And I'm going to say he takes that inspiration and he's able to deftly maneuver the wagon so that it avoids some of the swooping bats, and only one is going to get to attack each of you this time.
Woo!
Okay, Ander. Rage.
All right. Ender will stand up again and take another swing twice.
Yes.
Just curse them and beckon them back to their homes. So first is a 12, so that one I assume does not connect.
It just misses, I'm afraid.
All right, the second is a 17.
Definitely.
So that's 14 damage.
Okay, nice. That's a massive hit as you slam your axe into the creature as it swoops by, and in one hit it is blooded. Hey, Scarlet! Alright, nicely done. Okay, and that brings us to Talus.
All right, let's do this. Oh, that's better. 18 total.
Definitely.
Another 6 points of damage.
Excellent. That one that swooped past Ander just before looks rather bad. As you
All right,
also
and
cut it
let's-
as it swings by.
Let's on the backswing. 15.
Hits.
8 points damage.
Fantastic. It is cut out of the sky and spirals off to the edge of the track and tumbles to a stop. There are down to just 4 of the creatures flapping around above and around you now. But as I said, only 1 on each of you this time. So the wagon, like jerks and weaves to either side as Dr. Gonzo expertly guides the horses this way and that, avoiding the swooping bats. And the one going for you, Ander, 15?
Does not.
Okay,
hit.
Timo. Can you say a natural 20? Sorry, Timo. That is a natural 20, so that is going to be 8 plus a d6. Hurrah. Okay, so 9. Only 1 extra on the dice, but that is 9 piercing.
Down
And
to 7.
Talus. 2 in a row. Keep those natural 20s flying, Papa Dragon. Get those phoenixes in there. So that's also going to be 8 plus that. That is going to be 10 piercing Talus.
Alice is bloodied.
Oof. These nasty bats. I was told this is an easy encounter by Cobalt Fight Club. It lied to me.
They haven't met my digital dice rolls. I mean,
or mine, apparently. Yeah.
I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3 in a row. I mean,
It's slowly going up. Okay, that brings us back to you, Timo. Bloodied and bleeding and desperately clinging to the top of the wagon. What do you do?
Hold on. Let's see here. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
It's a plan. Go for it. So roll that healing for yourself there.
Okay, why is it not working?
Okay. So yeah, is there anything else in your turn? You can do that whilst we're swooping around again.
So anyway, I can kind of duck down and hide.
You can try, definitely, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
You've got that as a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, please do take that. Do a stealth check there.
And I'm at advantage, and they're at disadvantage to see me because of my cloak.
Nice.
Come here. Ah.
It's in there somewhere. And you're on deck.
Well, no, it's just that my thing's being weird.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. All right, so I got 7 hit points back
Good.
and a 26 on my stealth.
Okay, nice, nicely done. And Ander, what you doing?
Right, Ander is going to take 2 more swings. Let's see, so 16 on the first.
Hits.
And that is for 11 slashing damage.
Oof, okay.
And the second is an 11.
Misses, I'm afraid.
Can I use that bardic inspiration? What is
Certainly
the
can.
is that a D8?
Timo, what's your body inspiration at the moment? Is it D8?
D6.
6, okay.
D6.
You needed 2 or more.
1 second. Let me find my character sheet again. Come on. No, that's just gonna make it a 12.
Oh, it's got 1. Bad luck. Okay. Thank you. And that brings us to Talos. What you doing?
all right. Swinging another one. Hey!
Sounds good.
Natural 20.
Hey, there it is. Nice. So yeah, an extra roll of the dice on that. Max plus a roll.
That's 11 points of damage.
Excellent. That cuts down the one that Ander had injured as it swoops by, and another attack.
All right.
Only 3 remaining.
Wow, and a 19.
Nice.
Going in the other extreme.
Keep them coming, keep them coming.
10 points of damage.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, that cuts through the creature there as it swoops around. Its wing not working as well as it would like, but it is swooping around towards you. And that brings us to their turn. Now, let's see. Rolling at disadvantage to try and see that little bard hiding in the wagon there. That's going to be a 9, so it cannot see you, Timo. Does not find you. The other ones going for Ander and Talos, 1 on each. Ander does only an 11. Talos, a 6. Okay, so yeah, they're definitely beat up and they've been cut and things. They've been swooping by, so they're definitely losing their effectiveness here. And that brings us to the top of the round. Timo, from hiding, what are you doing?
Casting Vicious Mockery.
Nice.
And now, can I see the one that had the Pass Without Trace on it?
The one, yes, it would be. I mean, it's it's got pass without a trace in it, but because of the magic of Granny Nightshade, it's not trying to hide. It's just swooping around and how pass without a trace draws on the shadows and brings the shadows around you. There's just this. I'm
assuming that was the furthest away. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say, Cat's vicious mockery saying, "Your mama was a fruit bat."
And there's a save on that, yeah? Wisdom?
No saves. First page.
Don't worry, it's a fail. It's really low.
Yeah, it's like a.
What's the
15,
damage?
I think.
Okay, what's the damage on that?
Hold on. Vicious mockery. Damage is 2d4.
Go for it. What's it gonna be?
It is total of 4.
4. Okay, thank you. It is on its last legs as it swoops around and shakes its head in the slander against its mother.
And then bonus action hide.
Noted. Roll that stealth check while we head over to Anda. What you doing? This last 3, this desperate wounded 3.
All right, so I'm gonna take 2 big swings again.
Okay.
The first one is a 14.
Hits.
The second one is a natural 20, baby.
Nice.
Nice.
What's the damage on the first one?
So first damage would be 23.
Oh wow, yeah, that cuts it down. And then the natural 20?
That one is... I'm sorry, so I confused the damage. The first one is 13, because that wasn't the natural 20.
Still
Second
enough.
one will be 15 with the natural 20.
Okay, nice. So yeah, that knocks out the first one and bloodies the last legs onto its last legs for the other one there. Excellent. Okay, tell us.
All right, well, let's see if we can get that final one out of the air. That is not going to do it.
Do you have that inspiration?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. A 2 and a 1. Come on now.
Well, I do have good news for you, because I did say, and when I was designing the encounter, as soon as there was more of you than there was of them, they were going to swoop away to hell with Granny Nightshade's wrath and flap off towards the tree line again.
Apparently the air from my swings were causing their flight patterns to get screwed up, so they had to go away now.
Okay, so, yes, you all catch your breath, and Dr. Gonzo slows the wagon a little as the threat has passed somewhat. He's like, yes, I see why they sent you lot. Excellent. Thanks for the sub, my friend. Okay, so, as he reins the horses in, still nervously looking about the sky, but his long kind of wispy beard caught up with little bits of twig and moss in it, and he turns to all of you, just peeping over the back plates of the front seat there. He's like, so, are you up to speed on everything that's supposed to be going on here?
Those bats were not expected, but
it is much more dangerous in these parts than it once was. That is why you must use these new things that we have found, these ghost caps. You must use them to slip past the enemy lines. You must make it to Castle Spiral and take out whatever it is that has strengthened the connection with the Shadowfell.
So, has anyone tested these ghost caps?
I've had one or two.
And how did that go for you?
There's certain earthy notes on the back end, and they're a bit of a powdery, kind of texture to them. But the border ethereals, crazy.
So would you fry them or would you steam them?
Why waste the natural produce of the forest floor? No, they're perfect just as is. And we do not have time to set up a campfire and let off smoke and attract more enemies. No. Please. Here you are. And he opens up this leather satchel that he has around on his side, and you do see, slightly bruised and squashed, these dusk grey, almost kind of like executioner hood looking kind of like caps on top of these mushrooms. These are the ghost caps. I theorized for so long that they were true, and I found them. Here you are. One for you, one for you, and here you are.
So Ander will take his and he'll look at it and study it, throw it in his mouth and begin to chew it, and instantly, from the texture, get a little bit of a gag reflex going. So you'll see him grab his nose and his mouth, tilt his head back, and swallow it down.
Okay. As Ander does that, everyone, you see his edges blur a little. But he doesn't disappear. It doesn't force you into the ethereal plane. It gives you the option to choose to do so. Now, let me just check one thing here. Not only does this mushroom give you this ability, Ander, but it also has a kind of warm glow, a warm healing energy, if you will. A rejuvenating property, if you will. And you can take 4d4 plus 4, a greater healing potion amount of healing. So, Timo, tell us, whilst Anders' edges look a little blurry, a little less distinct, his wounds and general vim and vigour seem to benefit greatly. Unless he rolled 4.
I'll instantly pop in my mouth. See that? I could definitely use 4d4 plus 4.
Okay, so yes, Timo also does so. Talus, you going to follow suit?
Yeah, Talus watches the two of them to see, because, being a Greyhawk elf and spending a lot of time hunting, he's, no stranger to eating strange mushrooms and other things that grow in the forest. He's more worried about the fact that the gnome seems to have become rather manic. So, as long as his partners are feeling no other ill effects, he just pops the thing into his mouth and starts to chew and swallows it.
So yeah, Timo and Talus, you can also take that healing as well. So 4d4 plus 4.
I'm back up to 2 from max.
Okay, nice. So just while our players are calculating that, a big welcome to everyone who's joining us today. Welcome to Virtual Greyhawk Con. It's a pleasure to have you here as we kick things off for this weekend of adventure. Do not miss out, everyone, on all of the other amazing things that are happening this weekend as well. Virtual Greyhawk Con. Here is a link. Oh, Streamlabs beat me to it. And there is a link to all of the other sessions happening as well. So many awesome things for you to enjoy. Jump in there and have a look. And, of course, also, !enter in chat for your chance to win fabulous prizes from Troll Lord Games. We'll be drawing those at the end of the session. Okay, so if you guys are all healed up there. Well, as healed up as you can be.
Tell us, how far did that bring you from full?
I'm still 9 from full. I've rolled 3 1s and a 4.
Oh, rude.
I am not a fan of digital dice.
Fair. Oh, Guild Superior, how you doing? Our good friends over at Guild Superior raiding there. Not raiding, sorry, subbing there. Thank you so much, friends. Good to see you as always. I know those wonderful folks at Guild Superior will be having some games this con as well. Check them out. Okay, so cheers, Grim. Right, so, my friends, you partake of this newfound Ghostcap mushroom, and as you feel the effects come over you, Dr. Gonzo points towards the tree line. Now, you know what to do. Just head for the center of the woods, and once you can't see your hand in front of your face, you've arrived. Castle Spiral lurks within, and within its walls, which on the ethereal plane will be no boundary for you to just breeze right through. You can find whatever it is that is focusing the Shadowfell energies and empowering Granny Nightshade's minions. Please, for the sake of the forest, for all of Kioland, we're all counting on you. And as you ease yourselves off the edge of the wagon, he looks to you. See you on the other side. And whips the reins, and the wagon takes off back towards Burl Keep. And the three of you are left on the edge of the Dreadwood. Now,
Talos, how's your sense of direction and tracking?
This tracking, yes, I can do. She's looking for. I mean, is there an obvious path through, or are we just kind of
on the outskirts here? It's relatively pleasant. It's a nice kind of wood. There's a space between the trunks and not too much undergrowth to battle against. But from tales and reports of this forest, that the deeper you get, the harder it gets to move forward. And as you are leading your friends down onto the shade and the dappled sunlight of the trees, you start to look ahead just before you lose all sight of the sky, and you can see the clouds forming over the forest here, and they deepen and darken as it gets towards the center, and you swear you can see a little flicker of lightning playing across the central stormy clouds that are forming a rooftop over the center of the forest, and it is very clear which parts you need to get to. Now, could you give me a survival check there, Thomas? Just to see just how well we do this. Let's go. Part 2, let's go.
That's a 13.
Okay, yeah. So not too much trouble there. There's a bit of nasty undergrowth and some brambles and thorns to get by, but nothing that the three of you can have any trouble with particularly. Oh, hype train! Thank you, everyone. Look at you, legends. Okay. What was Jay's record? How about it, folks? How about it? That's a lofty goal.
Well, he contributed a good bit to that because he said if they got 50 subs, he would match it. So he had over 100 subs that
wow.
train.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, thank you for those gifted subs, everyone, and the bits as well. Okay, now, as you go deeper into the depths of the forest here, it does almost become somewhat chiller as the sunlight lessens. Are you proceeding stealthily, or how would you like to do this?
Yeah, Talos is
under full stealth mode.
Mm-hmm.
Talos is definitely going stealthy.
Okay, can I get a group stealth check from you all, please?
Sure. Let me roll it here.
24.
Nice.
27.
Nice.
And 25.
Nice. for a average of 25, you very easily and stealthily make your way into the wood there. Now, we do like on Phoenix Iwaki here to roll ourselves some tables from time to time. Anda,
Yes.
as you make your way through the outer fringes of the Dreadwood, can you roll me a d20, please?
13.
13. Thank you. As you're slipping through the trees and undergrowth of the outskirts of the forest here, you hear a strange, ghostly wailing. And you just pull all your friends into the nearby undergrowth and hide away. And you see drifting through the tree trunks off a ways away a ghostly, tattered, robed figure, long, bedraggled hair hiding its face as a banshee just drifts through. And from everything you've heard about the outskirts of the Dreadwood, there shouldn't be anything like that around these parts. There are certain goblin bands and other natural creatures and things in this part of the woods, but to actually see a banshee out this far and this near the edge is very rare.
So you'll see Andor pull them back and just look over at them and say, you guys are seeing and hearing this too, right?
Yeah, at that, Talos nods and he pulls the hood of his cloak over his head, and it becomes much harder to see.
Excellent.
Kind of almost fades into the underbrush.
Okay.
Kind, huh?
So yeah, I think we have a kind of a Lord of the Rings moment where the three of you are like under the tree roots and the banshee's going past like a ring wraith up on the road above. Yes, you are able to avoid the nasty, unholy beast that is prowling this section of the wood, and you carry on once it has moved off a safe distance, and you are assured that you can continue without being spotted. As you continue on through into the darker reaches of the forest, you enter what is known as the middle reaches of the Dreadwood here. The forest takes on an increasingly sinister character. Even on the brightest days, the canopy of greenery threatens to devour all of the sunlight, trying to make its way through. The space beneath the trees here is mostly in dim light, at best, and you start to hear larger amounts of movement ahead, and you think this is what you were given these ghost caps for.
Yeah, Talos is going to motion for everyone to just hold here, and he's going to sneak away for a closer look, but he's going to have the hood of his cloak up.
Okay.
His footfalls leave no sound. He just basically is almost a ghost wandering through the forest.
Okay.
Just to get an idea of what we're looking at.
Mechanically, is that what you're talking advantage on stealth?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
And also with the hood up, enemies have others have a disadvantage for perception rolls against my stealth.
Okay. Yeah, they'll be at passive perception anyway at this kind of situation.
All right, so stealth roll.
No stars, man.
Nice.
22 is the better roll. So.
Excellent. Okay, yes, you, as you put it yourself, are making, when in Rome, you ghost through the trees, joining the ranks of the undead. And Talos has lost you all now. You very silently drift through and keep to the shadows and just very stealthily make your way forward. And that is not true of the other end of things, which is one of the reasons it's easy for you to stay hidden and know when to hide away from potential eyes on you as there is a crashing and just crunching of the undergrowth as large amounts of creatures are moving about, and you start to see groups of undead shuffling about, keeping to this edge of the forest, keeping away from the brighter outskirts, it seems, keeping to the gloom of these middle reaches, but undoubtedly amassing and waiting for something. And you see skeletons and zombies and other longer, ganglier creatures with canine-like heads and long fur hanging off their limbs, as you see jackalwares as well, moving amongst them. Granny Nightshade's favoured minion.
Yeah, Talus is going to slowly back away and make his way back to the party.
And as you're about to leave, you see an even larger figure as one of Granny Nightshade's lieutenants is seen here at the front lines. One of her fixers, as she likes to call them, an Oni. Dusky blue skin under a tattered cloak as it stalks through the trees.
You stay down. You stay there until the time is right. Once we have our strength, then we sally forth. Then we tear this place apart.
It continues off along the tree lines.
Yeah, as he makes his way back to the party, to the rest of the party, he's like, yeah, now would be a good time for us to disappear, as it were.
Okay. So, the three of you concentrate as you are instructed to do so back in Belfort. And as you do so, you feel your physical forms chill, and a certain numbing of sensation on your skin and your extremities and your fingers and toes. And the light, dim though it was, dims even further, and all of the colour of the forest around you drains away, and your view crowds in until you can only see 30 feet away from yourselves as you slip off the material plane and into the border ethereal. You move forward, and Timo and Ander, you also start to see what Talus had told you about. These undead forces, all manner of creatures and horrors skulking in the shade and the shadows of the trees. Larger jackalwares stalking about between them, growling and snarling at these listless, lifeless, and yet animated creatures. But none of them pay you any heed.
So, as he's walking by, Ander is just going to take a second just to kind of study each one of them, try to get a sense of what they're like, sizing them up, basically.
Yeah. There's definitely a variety of different types here. There's very, very simple, just, bags of bones, basically, skeletons smoldering, covered in dirt, still clinging to the bones, rusted weapons, pitch-patch armor, zombies, which are particularly difficult to look at, even through the misty smudge of the border of the ethereal plane here, as their pallid skin is drawn tight over certain parts and then stretched over distended bellies and gaping sores and wounds as these rotting creatures shamble about and wait for the sign to sally forth and devour.
Good. Not good.
Yeah, Ander will turn to Talos. Have you ever seen anything like this before, or encountered anything like this before?
Not in these numbers. And not
Timo?
with a leader like this.
Now,
This is troubling indeed.
there's a few things that I don't even recognize.
As you continue further towards the center of the forest, towards the dreaded deeps, again, every step you take seems to leach a little of the light out of the scene, muted, although it already is viewed from the ethereal here. And again, more and more of the creatures are massed here between the trees, forcing you to take pretty decent, detours if you're on the material plane. But you realize that perhaps you don't need to do that, and you pluck up the courage to walk by almost right in front of one of these groups of these terrifying creatures, and as promised, they pay you no heed.
Big exhale.
Evil thought just passed through my mind.
Oh boy.
Seems they can't hear you either.
Good. Yeah, so you mentioned the one Oni. Does it look like there's like more than one field general, or
You only saw that one as you scouted forward the first time, and it hasn't come back this way since.
okay?
It seems to be certainly like a staging point at this time. Just like gathering their forces, building their energies from whatever source it is that they're gathering from the Shadowfell, and readying themselves to strike forth. Now, you also heard from Dr. Gonzo that here on the border ethereal, whilst you can still see all of the trees, you don't necessarily need to go around them anymore. Which of you is the first to try walking through a tree?
I'll try it.
Talos. Yeah, go ahead.
Anders, yeah.
What's it
Anders?
about?
You'll see Ander reach out his hand and just kind of touch the tree to see if it can actually happen, and then begin to follow his hand on through.
Okay. And this is something that I've experienced a lot here in Japan, and I think it probably happens in the States in certain areas too. When the humidity is high enough and you step like from an air-conditioned building out into it, you could feel the difference in the air, right? Just you don't have to use any strength, of course, but you feel yourself pushing through it, and that's what it feels like. This tree's right there in front of you, and as you kind of tentatively step forward, you feel a resistance. You feel like it would be a bad idea to stop mid-tree, but you are able to push through and pass through its trunk.
Yeah, and you'll see Ander kind of take notice of the condition as he's feeling it, and kind of take a deep breath, and then continue to push forward.
Okay.
Talos watches this, and he's thinking to himself, okay, all right. I know Mother said to, be one with my surroundings and be one with nature, but this is a little ridiculous. But here we are. And yeah, he follows Ander walking through the trees.
Okay.
Hey, John, quick
Yes.
question. I
Yes.
just rolled 24 perception, trying to see if there's any of these creatures that seem like a little more agitated, like, wouldn't take much to just push them over that edge.
Okay.
Do I see anything similar to that?
These kind of fairly low level undead don't seem to have any concept of what's happening on the ethereal side of things at all.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I just meant like, if there was any that were like, kind of like snapping each other or, whatever.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I see. The zombies and skeletons, no, just completely brainless. Like you're just shambling about, just waiting for the orders to move forward. But the jackalwares do squabble from time to time, and kind of nip at each other's necks and things.
Is there a little group of them all together?
The jackalwares?
Or are they all kind of just scatters, one here, one there, like in charge of a group?
You do manage to find one. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a few of them moving around, like just looking around and looking what's at the forces amassed here. But there is a group of about 4 of them at one point. Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up behind one of them and kind of like seeing them walk through trees. I'm gonna like just push my hand through one of them, try to just cause some type of reaction and make him think one of the others is. That's what I'm thinking. Cause a distraction, basically, to aid us on going through.
Okay. There. Make me an Arcana or Nature check as you try and temper your amount of ethereal. What's what I'm looking for? Depth.
That's a 14 on nature.
A 14?
Yes.
Okay. You are able to fathom the effects of these Ghostcap Mushrooms and start to allow yourself back towards the material plane, but don't go the whole way. And you are able to manifest yourself enough to not become completely visible, but to be able to affect things that are there. It's not.
Like,
it's not something you can do like every time. It's like it takes a massive amount of concentration each time. Yeah.
Right. And once I realized that, I was just like, okay, just an experiment. We'll move on.
Okay. So
did you
fuss with them? Yeah. Make me a sleight of hand check.
That's a 19.
19, excellent. Okay, yes, you deftly managed to mess with one of them in the way that it looks like one of the others did it. And as you withdraw back fully into the border ethereal, the group of jackalwares start to snap and snarl and just like squabble amongst themselves. And it looked like it could spiral out of control and could spread to the other jackalwares who kind of like eagerly start to gather around and say, "Oh, what's going on here?" Yes, get him.
That's
and,
what I wanted.
And it starts to get more and more out of hand until they starts to like, and they kind of like drop back a little and seem to be more passive and like they're kind of like ducking their heads down as a large spectral figure comes floating towards the disturbance, and a creature known as a gallows speaker, long robes and a gaunt skull, just the paper thin flesh drawn over a skull, and long wispy white hair, just comes ghosting through the trees towards them all, also passing through tree trunks but on the material plane, and just points a bony hand towards all of them, just immediately subduing any shenanigans that were going on. And then its head turns towards the three of you.
Oops.
Gallows speakers have true sight, which allows them to see into the ethereal plane. And as it turns towards you and clearly recognizes you and responds to you being there, what do you do?
Is running an option?
Yep, you're just gonna book it.
Ethereal?
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna book it.
Yeah, now would be a good time. Move.
Run away.
Okay. You suddenly, yes, you turn and run away from this creature towards, the center of the forest still, the direction that you need to be going. And as you do, it's weird, and beyond the sensation of any trees and things that you're just completely ignoring now, just running as fast as you can, something else is kind of catching against you. And an experience, like a feeling you haven't felt here in the ethereal plane yet. And you realize you're running through spiders' webs, and you can see the spiders' webs in between the trees on the material plane, just a faint ghostly outline of these webs strung between the branches, but you can feel yourself hitting them and coming up against them in the ethereal plane as well. And the gallows speaker reaches out and just calls out this horrible cry, and as it does so, large, spindly white and blue legs come descending from the trees and the canopy above, and with a shimmer, the phase spider that was lurking in the trees above is suddenly very much in the same part of the world as you, as it uses its bonus action to blink over into the ethereal plane, and its mandibles click hungrily as it comes scuttling after you. And the gallows speaker also shoves a bunch of skeletons forward as well. And as you remember the last warning of Dr. Gonzo ringing in your ears as you went towards the tree line and he disappeared off in his wagon, "Oh, they're a little unstable if you're not taking your time," and you start running. We are going to be entering into a chase here, but you may or may not be in the ethereal plane as you make haste and go faster than you are supposed to through the border ethereal. This works in the same way that the blink spell does. I would like each of you on round 1 here to roll me a d20.
This is the reminder that Talus has not had his coffee. This is unfair.
Oh, those rolls are all awful.
Okay, I can't see them, sorry. So, Anda, how'd you go?
4.
4. Timo.
3.
Talus.
High score, 6.
Winner.
Those of you familiar with the blink spell will know that it is an 11 or greater that puts you into the ethereal plane, and as you all start running and push your way through those phase spider webs on both sides of things, you find them dragging you through the boundary, through the veil, if you will, and you suddenly find yourselves all back on the material plane, a squadron of skeletons clattering and clanking behind you, and somewhere now out of sight on the ethereal plane, some phase spiders scuttling from branch to branch across the tree line above. I would like you to enter into this chase here. There is going to be a round for each of you here. So, what check would you like to use? What skill or ability that you have, a spell, anything that you like, what would you look to use to make your chase check for this round?
Let's see. Ander will use athletics to try to see if he can, as he's running and dodging through the forest and swatting the spider webs off, to try to slide and duck underneath of a root from a tree.
Yep. So please make me the roll there.
Great. That is a 13.
13, thank you. Okay, Timo, what are you doing?
My good thing, stealth.
Okay, so you're trying to keep hidden, keep out of sight of these skeletons. Okay.
Yep. That's a... This one is a 24.
Nice. And Talus?
Talus is going to go with stealth as well.
Okay. Andy, you're suddenly by yourself running through the forest. Guys!
24.
Excellent. And Duck's shoulder, I am very glad to hear that. It's exactly the kind of vibe we're going for here. Okay, so that gives you a group total of 20, which a dirty 20, which will definitely beat the DC for this chase check. This means you are able to pull ahead of the pursuers, although if they succeed as well, they will also close the gap. Now, in this rule set that we're using here, if you are successful, you pull ahead by a d10 for every 10 feet that you can run at your speed. Now, rounding up, so some of you are 25 feet, but that rounds up to a 30, so that gives us 3d10 that you can pull away from these creatures. And there are 3 of you, so let's do 1 each. Could you each roll me a d10, please? And let's see how far away from these skeletons you can pull, as they will also try and use their dexterity to skip over the undergrowth and trunks and roots. They get a 14. They will also have the ability to close if they... Let's see how they go. 1, 2, where's it going? 2, okay. So, hey, Blue Box RPG, thank you for that follow there. Welcome in. So, Ander, how'd you go?
So Ander rolled a 5 on the D10. His walking speed is 45 feet.
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can actually roll me 1 more. Although actually no, I think it's the average of the party there, so we'll stick with 1 d10 each. Thank you. So Timo, how about you? On your d10?
6.
6. Okay, and Talis?
6. By the way, my walking speed is also 35. My walking speed is 35 feet.
Okay.
So
Timo, how about
that
yourself?
helps the average.
Mine's 25.
Okay. So yeah, I think with 2 of you faster
So
than
our
30.
average is 35.
Yeah, with 2 of you faster than 30. Then yeah, we can go 4. Ander, as you, thank you for the sub. Ander, as you are the chief kind of roller for this round, give me 1 more d10 then.
All right.
They got, what did they get? They got 20.
Nice.
How'd you go? Full 10? Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you guys got 27 feet away. They closed 20 feet, so you are 7 feet further away from them than you were before. Now, at the end of the rounds here, if you are within a movement of them, it's going to affect your ability to hide and lose them. Okay, so it depends how, if you don't have to fully lose them completely, but you need to be more than 30 feet away from them at the end of the 3 rounds there. So that's so you are now 67 feet away. You pull away from all of them there. Now, the last thing we need to do is to generate an event that happens on each of the rounds as we're chasing through the forest here into the deeper depths of the Dreadwood. So I would like Ander, please can you roll me a d20? Oh, sorry, d12. My bad.
Okay. 1 second. D12. 11.
Okay. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you're doing well and enjoying the opening of Virtual Greyhawk Con here. Exclamation mark enter for your chance to win Troll Lord Games goodies in chat there. An 11. Okay, nice. An 11 gives you a straightaway. You find an opening in the trees ahead of you. There is the chance to make better speed here. If you wish, you can opt to dash and get more distance between you and the skeletons pursuing you. But there is a con save that needs to be made, and there will be a chance of getting some exhaustion in the mix here. It's a low DC. It's a DC 10. As a group, are you willing to give it a try? You want to push it, or are you going to just keep running at normal pace?
I don't know. My rolls have been pretty low.
I have to think about that.
I'm scared of the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you everyone who's getting up bright and early to join us today. Thank you so much.
I think we should chance it.
Yeah, you can try it. Go for it. If you succeed, you will move your movement speed further away from them. So this will give you a 35-foot head start on them here.
A con save?
D20.
So give me a Constitution saving throw, please. Yes.
Yeah, I should not have done that.
It's okay. This is. So how'd you go, Talis?
8.
Oh, Ander.
22.
22. Timo.
13.
Okay, Talis, that is a level of exhaustion, I'm afraid. But the first one is just skill checks, right? It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Let's find here exhaustion. Okay, so as you are carrying on there, you find this opening between the trees, and you dash between them. There's an open wide space here. Beautiful mossy ground on the forest floor, spongy underfoot. The halflings are, almost wanting to kick off their boots and enjoy the beautiful forest floor here. But the shambling, clattering skeletons behind you bring you sharply back to reality. And Talus, whilst you are losing your breath a little here, and I think you might kind of clock your head on a low-lying branch there and kind of like daze yourself a little bit, give you that exhaustion level there. But thanks to making that choice to run, you do pull ahead a nice 30 feet more. So you are now 97 feet ahead of the skeletons, and a good lead in the first round there. Now, this brings us into the second round here. Timo, you're going to be our head roller for this one. First things first, though, let's make that chase check. Ander, what would you like to use on the second round? It's different to the last one, please.
I will use stealth this time.
Okay, go for it. Timo, yourself, Talus?
Survival.
Survival, and...
Survival for me.
Okay, Talus, at disadvantage, I'm afraid. With that exhaustion...
22 for my stealth.
22 on the stealth. Timo?
18.
18. And the survival at disadvantage?
13.
13. Not bad at all. Okay, so for an average of 17, that is over the DC. You can pull ahead again. Each of you roll me that D10. And Timo, roll me 2D10, please, for the extra speed that you have. And I shall see how our skellies are doing here. Oh, actually, sorry, I was about to say, let me see how our skellies are doing. Each of you actually roll me a D20. See if any of you blip into the ethereal plane again.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Timo?
16.
Anda?
14.
Okay, yep, all of you, you're yo-yoing back and forth here. So as you're sprinting across this open ground, this blessed relief from the tangled undergrowth of the Dreadwood here, you start to feel yourself shimmering, and that clammy coldness growing across your flesh, and the numb feeling again, and the whole forest drains of colour once more, and the skeletons seem to shimmer out of view a little bit as they are further than 30 feet away. You can't see them anymore, but you do hear again the angry chittering and the clacking mandibles of the phase spiders, who are as far away as the skeletons. They're as a group, but it is you'll be rolling against the spiders this time as opposed to the skeletons. And one of the chase events that can happen is that you can the way the terrain works itself out, you can actually cross paths with them and get into melee combat for a second. So the phase spiders are going to be using their athletics. See if they pass here. Oh no, they do not. They do not close on you. So, Ander, what was your D10?
It was 2.
Nice. Timo, your 2D10.
Total of 18.
Nice. Talus.
2.
2. Okay, so yeah, you got another 22 feet further ahead. You are now 109 feet away from your pursuers. Almost impossible to catch you, I think, at this point. That is a very, very nice round. It was costly for Talus, but it was a good idea to make that dash. Now, Timo, if you could give me a D12, please. Let's see what's happening here.
An 8.
8. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Ah, yes. See, I told you this was going to happen. Okay, that is the paths converge as you are twisting and making your way through the ethereal plane here, the border ethereal. The routes that the phase spiders are taking does bring them closer towards you, and there is a single momentary clash as they come within striking range of you. I'm going to roll randomly to see which of the three of you gets because you're kind of scattering amongst the trees. Really, you're not running as a tight group together, so everyone's like spreading out as one of you kind of ducks and weaves around a. It's kind of like still instinctive, even though you're on the border of ethereal. You still want to avoid these blocks and these trees and things that are in front of you. As one of you janks to the side to get around this this cluster of trees that are all bustled together in your way, you see one of the phase spiders suddenly lurch into view, its mandibles clacking and legs reaching for Timo. As it comes for you, I rolled a 4 there on the d6. So it is going to try and bite you. You also get an attack as well as you come together here in this momentary crossing of the paths. But it's only a 10. Does a 10 hit?
No.
Excellent. Okay, how's yours? What's your attack?
I'm probably gonna miss too. That's a here we go.
What was the total?
11.
Misses, I'm afraid. Yes. So I think you're both equally surprised of each other as you just like round this coppice of trees on the material plane. But even though you're on the border ethereal, and then this phase spider comes scuttling round. I think the phase spider, more accustomed to being in this side of things, just erupts through the trunks of the trees themselves, just leaps towards you. That spider leap that they make as it comes springing through, its mandibles reaching for you. But you use your nimbleness and your halfling form to duck out of the way and keep charging on towards your goal ahead. And you can see the Dreadwood beyond the ethereal curtain here is getting darker and darker. You can feel yourselves getting so much closer. You can see that the dreaded deeps are almost at hand in the darkness that you need to lose your pursuers. That brings us to the third and final round here. Let's see if you can pull even further ahead. Talus. Well, actually, you'll be the roller this time, but all of you, do you blink into the material again? Let's see how you go. D20, please.
D20.
The ghost caps triggering and blinking in and out of effectiveness here.
16 for Ander.
Okay.
18 for Talos.
Okay.
And a natural 20.
All three of you stay in the border ethereal as you keep charging forward. And I would like each of you to nominate your skill for the chase check.
All right.
Something different, please.
I'll use acrobatics.
Okay.
Yeah, going to be acrobatics for Talos as well.
Okay.
Oof. 7.
Nature.
7. Okay. So yeah, you are trying to. I think as you're scuttling through here, you saw that face spider almost managed to catch up with Timo and grab him. So you're all like ducking and weaving and trying to find the best way through the these semi-corporeal. There is this ghost image, almost like this gathering of the ethereal energy up as it pulls against these blocks and physical forms in the material plane. So a 7 from Ander. Timo.
That's rolling on nature check is a total of 12.
12. Okay, you spy a decent way through where you can avoid the pooling of this ether energy here. Talis, yourself?
Right, this is still at disadvantage, correct?
I'm afraid so, yes.
That's a 5.
Okay, so that is an
that
average.
Disadvantage hurt.
For an average of 8, I'm afraid you do not get to pull ahead this time. And our phase spider friends come scuttling hungrily forward, hot on your heels. They will use their acrobatics for this one. That's a 21, so they do come closer. They have a speed of 30, so remember they are very far away still, so on average there. So they do close 18 feet towards you, but that still leaves them as the waves come and they come towards you, and then you get forced apart by different parts of the terrain here. They are still a hefty distance away. And Talus, roll me that d12 to see the last thing that happens here.
All right, d12. Six.
A 6. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there is an obstacle in your path here. Now, you're in the border ethereal, so this takes the form of a particular pooling, a massing of the ether, this potentiality that flows throughout this entire part of the realm, that the stuff that comes together to create all of existence, drawing on the planes of the various elements. And there is a large gathering of that ether energy in this one location, and it forms almost like a physical barrier for you, as there's this large stand of trees which is just washing up against in the border ethereal and stopping in your way here. Now, sorry everyone. Let the music get hold of itself again. So it was overlapping with itself. Okay, there we go. It's excited. Okay, so I need each of you to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
All right.
11.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy.
that was.
Total
dear.
5.
Talus?
It is an 18 with the disadvantage.
Okay, was that acrobatics?
That was at acrobatics. Yes.
Okay. So, Ander, Tamo, your diminutive halfling forms are almost caught up as if you're waylaid by this ethereal energy, this pooled ether that is causing this blockage here in the border ethereal. Talus, you see your friends and the plight that they're in and nimbly vault over it. But as an average, that is not enough, I'm afraid. It does allow the phase spiders to close the distance even more. And that is going to be a 21. So that brings them closer still. But as your frantic escape through the forest has led you deeper and darker towards the central area, towards the so-called dreaded deeps of the Dreadwood here, you can feel the pursuers losing sight of you. You can see them dropping back, confusedly pausing, chittering, going up high on their legs as they look around, those ghostly blue eyes shining behind you. But even here on the border ethereal, the darkness and the shadow that clings to the Dreadwood is masking your escape. And as you are still 70 feet ahead of them, you are able to make a stealth check without any disadvantages, even you, Talus, because this is the boon from the chase sequence here. So, as you duck and weave through the ghostly apparitions of the trees and undergrowth of the dreaded deeps, you can each make me a stealth check, please.
17 for Ander.
Okay.
14 for Talus.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Because, right, the way this works, right, is if you're within their movement rates, if they're close enough to be within one move of you, that would give you a disadvantage. Now, up to twice that, which would be 60 feet, that would be a regular roll. You are further. You're even beyond that range. You're at 70 feet away, so you're more than a dash away for them. So that will actually give you advantage on this. So give me an advantage roll.
I was already rolling advantage because of my cloak, so
There we go.
I got a total of 30, 28.
Even more. Okay, 28.
Yeah, I had already done that, so it's still 14.
14. Ander?
So you need another stealth?
Yes, please.
Take the higher of the
That
two.
was 16. So 17 is my higher.
Excellent. Okay. So, you are able to disappear into the gloom of the border ethereal section of the dreaded deeps here, and the face spiders and their skeletal friends on the material side of things lose track of you, and you are successful in your escape. Had you not succeeded, then some of these little beasties would have been at the Castle Spiral finale as well. So you have made that a little easier for yourselves. Now,
There is some place where we can catch our breath.
exactly right. We are out. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you feel that exhaustion just sapping your muscles and your energy. Do you stay on the border ethereal? You now have a choice now that you have slowed your pace.
I would say, yeah, it helps us from being seen, right?
From them, yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try to keep an eye out for anything other, basically keep a watch while we're catching our breath.
Please make me a perception check. Now,
For the record, I hate spiders.
Tamo, how would you like to do this? Because from the border ethereal, you can only see 30 feet into the material plane. So do you want to dip over to the material plane and look properly, or stay where you are? That horse is in the music, not not just riding by. Oh, hello. Lovely day for it.
You know what? 30 feet is a movement, so I'll just just keep an eye out within that 30 feet for now.
Okay. How was your
Stay
perception check?
ethereal. Total of 19.
19. Okay, that's a very good roll. It seems that the reason for using these ghost caps, the reason for slipping by the enemy lines, is evident here, as you find yourselves behind the enemy lines in a much sparser populated section of the forest. There aren't any undead shambling throughout the trees here, but it is so difficult to see as all of the light has disappeared out of the surrounding area as you arrive in the dreaded deeps. The heart of the forest. Natural light is unknown. Each step a traveller takes when moving through the middle reaches towards the centre seems to dim the sun's light a little more, until one enters the dreaded deeps, where the forest growth is so heavy that it blots out the sky. Are you all using dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Your dark vision also only extends to 30 feet and is very significantly dimmed compared to normal and your previous experiences of looking at caves and forests and nighttime vistas through this particular type of vision. Although, the loss of colour is not particularly marked here, as you're already on the border of ethereal and looking at everything as if through a smudged window, and various shades of grey and dark. Now, the way forward is still evident. Are you going to take a short rest, or are you making a move?
Will short rest remove the
Sorry.
exhaustion?
No, it's not. It have to be a long rest, I'm afraid.
Well, something a short rest would be a good idea if we can take one just to get some hit points back.
Okay. So, you tuck yourselves away safe and sound as best can be, and as the ebb and flow of the ether moves around you, and you can keep your eyes open with your dark vision, looking through the blur of the veil over to the material plane, there is an occasional movement. There's a fritter and a fluttering as a regular-sized bat goes flying past. At one point there is a ghostly swooping owl, pure white, dark eyes looking out, scanning the forest floor, not seeing you, it seems, as it just silently glides overhead and off out of your view beyond the 30 feet you can see into the material plane. Each of you can choose to use hit dice if you have them.
Yep. Let's see.
How far down are you?
I'm down 9. So let me see. Short rest. And I got my 9 back, so.
Okay.
Okay. As you pull your magical cloaks tighter about you, trying to shake off this chill, this pull towards the deep ethereal that you can feel even as you perch on the borders. You finish your rest, and you see the way ahead of you. And you know that Castle Spiral, Granny Nightshade's lair, awaits you through the misty outlines of the forest. It's almost like wading through thigh-high water. There's so much undergrowth and dense, tangled vines and thorns and briars here, but in the border ethereal, you are able to bypass that relatively easily. You wade through this echo of what lies beyond on the material side of things. And before long, you find yourself at a stark, jagged, black stone face in front of you. A face of almost like a cliff face, but you know that it must be worked the way that it seems to be chiseled and cut. It reaches up beyond anything you can see above, towards the trees and above into the sky, clawing up towards the clouds, wishing to just tear a big gash through it all. And you can feel towards the center of this castle of the Night Hag a strong pull. As you, having spent a short rest and quite a bit of time here in the border ethereal, you too feel the pull of the Shadowfell as it streams through this nexus point between the two worlds where Granny Nightshade's castle resides. Following that feeling, how do you proceed? It is beyond the wall in front of you.
So we can't see anything that's up on top of the wall. We can just see the wall, rock face in front of us.
The visibility does not reach enough, yeah.
I'll turn around. Yeah, I'll turn around to the rest of the party and... You ready to do this?
What we're here for.
Yeah.
So
let's get it done.
He'll put his head down and just walk meaningfully directly through the wall.
Okay.
With purpose.
All of you, think about your briefing back at Burl Keep. What little was known about the Night Hag and her minions. Her penchant for jackal wares. Her Oni commanders and enforcers. Her vampire lovers. A cluster of paramours clamouring for her attentions somewhere here within the keep, hoping that her attentions were focused out where her forces were gathering, her plans for overrunning Saltmarsh and Kierland. You move forward, and as you take that step, involuntarily kind of holding your breath as you step through the wall, you find yourself in the bleak interior of Castle Spiral. A dismal grey courtyard, cracked flagstones, bedraggled banners hanging from the walls. Dark, yawning mouths and eyes of windows and doors, not revealing what lies beyond, as gloom clings to every corner, drapes from every surface, and threatens to separate you and vanish your friends from sight. Do you continue to follow that sensation of draw towards the Shadowfell? That shadow energy?
Yeah, I will. And before we move forward, I'll just put my hands out and extend to Talus and Timo and just quickly bow my head and say, Yandala, goddess of bounty and fertility, protector of hearth, home, and family, watch over us as we carry forward to defeat this night hag. Your strength be with us. And then proceed forward.
Beautiful.
Talus is going to slowly pull his bow from off his back and have arrows ready to go.
Same.
Ander, take inspiration for that prayer. That was lovely.
Thank you.
as you prepare yourselves as best you can, another ghostly apparition, but not a gallows speaker this, glides out of one doorway across the courtyard and disappears into another, speechless, eyes gaunt, lifeless, staring at nothing as it just aimlessly drifts through the keep, all hope and purpose lost. You wait for its passing and then press on, passing yourselves through the various obstacles in your way. And eventually you come to a smaller courtyard than this first grand opening through the main gates. Bare, except for the stones of the flags of the floor. And at the very center, a lopsided, dilapidated-looking stone archway. But your eyes are quickly distracted by the curtain of utter shadow that fills the space between the stones as they haphazardly pile up on top of each other. Ghost grey lichens clinging to the outside of them, hanging off like burial shrouds. The darkness in the space of the archway is flat and featureless, but at the same time promises vast volume and space beyond. And you all know that you have found Castle Spiral's focal point, this nexus point between the material plane and the Shadowfell. And you think you can see what it is that has emboldened Granny Nightshade's minions, what it is that has allowed her to gather so much force, so much strength, to embolden her to move towards the outskirts of the forest and beyond. Hanging in the air, just off to the side of the archway, reflecting the stones in its shimmering surface, there is a crystal. A little larger than Ander and Timo, but not so big as Talus. Its unworked, jagged facets somehow catching the light that isn't here. You can see a reflection of the stone archway. You can see the darkness of what lies between those stones reflected in the crystal. And you can see the tendrils of pure shadow that extend from the portal to the Shadowfell. Refracted and reflected and amplified through the crystal, and washing out in waves. Into the stones of the castle, huddled around this source of energy and dread, fear that is just energizing and driving everything that Granny Nightshade is doing.
Oh, hells.
It is also very clearly on the material plane, not here in the border ethereal.
Look around. Is there any source of like cover in this room?
There are a couple of doorways off into the keep itself, an archway off to another kind of cloistered walkway that leads out through dreary stone walls to another part of the keep, but the stone archway itself is in the middle of this open, flagstoned courtyard with nothing around it except the crystal.
And there's no creatures here?
Not that you can see.
Well, this is it, guys. What are we doing?
Seems as if we found the source. Let's do what we came to do. For Keeland, Kith, and Ken.
Any suggestions? I don't have much that is going to help. Do we destroy it, or do we just bring it down? Our friend seems to have, well, I guess he didn't realize what it was we were up against, but that's going to be a bit of a pain.
Okay. Done a 19 with my Arcana check. What would be, from that roll, what would be I know about, like, a way to nullify or destroy if need to?
It's clearly magical and intrinsically tied to the Shadowfell. One that, say, sorcerers in possession of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything might enjoy possessing. That it is one of the Shadowfell shards. It's clearly going to be impervious to things that would affect physical beings, psychic damage, cold damage, things like that. But you brought with you the most useful tool when dealing with objects and solid things. You brought yourselves a barbarian.
And
All right.
smash.
Hulk smash. Me and
Halfling smash.
me and Talos cover the openings.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see Ander step forward, shake his shoulders a little bit.
I'll
Kind of a-
quickly give him bardic. Well, yeah, I'll give him bardic inspiration for his smashing.
Please do.
Perfect. And he'll shake off his nervous energy and step forward from the ethereal plane and into the material. I will use a bonus action to rage,
Okay.
and then I will commence to beating the crystal.
Just a moment, please.
Yep.
Let's check one thing here.
And then as soon as I can, I'll give bardic inspiration to Talos too.
Okay. Well, as you may have guessed, we'll be in initiative in just a moment. So,
I'd rather be you just gonna let us smash and bash and go.
yeah, well done, guys. We'll just stand there until Lander smashes it, and then we can make our way home. No. A passive perception of 10. Thank you, Ander. Okay. You
So yeah,
creep forward, Ander, and as you do so, the umbral vampire, one of Granny Nightshade's paramours, besotted by love for the power of the Night Hag, infested by the power of the Shadowfell, unfurls themselves from where they were lying slumped in the lee of the archway, one half in the Shadowfell, one here in the courtyard, and you spot them as they reach out with their Strike from Shadow ability and their Umbral Grasp. When you're within 15 feet of the archway, tendrils of shadow energy lash out suddenly towards you, and does a 21 hit.
oh yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Actually, 25 with the advantage from being hidden there. That is going to be 18 cold damage.
Okay, so with the rage, I am going to half that.
And once more, my friends, for the last time today. Hopefully not for the last time for these characters ever. Roll some initiative, please.
And that, with the cold, John, that's half damage because he's the totem of the bear.
Excellent.
So he gets resistant on all damage.
Nice. Also, I have good news. I forget which of you. I think it's probably Talus. Good news for you, Talus. This is a vampire, but it is an umbral vampire infested with shadow energy, which makes it a fiend. Your favorite enemy, I believe. Right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. I was like, is there anything that's a fiend but also undead? It's like, yes, there is. Okay. So, yes, please give me some of that initiative, my friends, as the creature unfurls itself. The suitably melodramatic clothing, the popped collar, the long cape stretching off, but different to any vampires you may have come across before. Its eyes and nose and mouth are all wide open, and tendrils of shadow energy are drawn out and going through the portal, connecting it to the Shadowfell.
Hey, John?
Yes, Timo, yes.
With the alert feat, would I have noticed him by chance before he attacked? Or so, and basically during the surprise round, would I get an action on him?
Yes, I will. Ander and Talus will have the surprise condition, but yes, with alerts you do not.
So initiative rolls 19.
Oh,
that would be a 16 on the attack with my short bow.
2 seconds. Let's have a look here. Sorry, Ander was a 19?
Yes.
Okay, let's get the initiative in there first. Timo, yourself?
26.
26, nice. And Talus?
Alice is apparently slow-footed today. 8.
Okay. And as the vampire lurches forwards towards you all, now let's have a look here. Timo, your turn was actually before the vampire, so before it revealed itself. But because you said you were covering the exits and things, so I'm going to read that is a ready to action, right? You were prepared to attack anything that appeared. So as it appears, you shoot, and you said you got a 13.
Guys, total of us, 13.
I'm afraid that misses, and your arrow whistles by and goes through the portal and disappears. So,
but as I shoot, I go there.
Get it. Okay, which brings us to you, Ander, as you feel this deathly cold chilling into your very soul.
All right, my first swing was an 8, so that one will miss. I'm going to use the inspiration to re-roll that first attack.
You may.
That's better. 24 to hit on my first attack and a 19 on my second.
Let me see, hang on, let me see if I can find something a little... Let's see if we can find something a little more vampiric here.
And then it'll be 23 damage all up from both swings.
23? Of type slashing?
That is slashing, yes.
Okay, thank you. Good
Things
luck against the
adventurers
vampire.
know.
Thank you, Lee.
Never want to hear a little bit more vampiric.
Okay, here we go. Let's bring this in here. Da-da-da. Okay. So, yes. Okay, there we go. Right. So, yes, as the creature reaches out with its umbral grasp towards you there, and you lash back with your great axe, charging in to close the distance between you, that last little 15 feet there. And that was slashing, you say. Do we have some resistances here? Let's have a look here. It's because it's not a magical axe, right?
It's a +1 great axe.
Oh, it is? Okay, excellent. So, yeah, that does get through the resistance then. Good. So, sorry, what was the damage again?
23 all up.
Excellent. Nicely done. Okay. And that brings us to the creature once more. Okay. Somewhere. That was a Jackalware howl. Shall we say? There we go. All right. So yes, as the creature is stood before you there, and it uses its blend with the shadows ability, and starts to disappear from view as this entire area is just dull light here, and it is going to start to disappear. And it makes a stealth check. Yeah, it gets a 20. So it just starts to disappear from view, and as it blends in with the shadows in the courtyard here, it does once more strike from the shadows towards you again. Actually, I guess it's going to be equal opportunities vampire here, I think. As he disappears into the shadows, you do not see. You're like looking around, it's like, where did he go? Where did he go? And Talus, tendrils of shadow energy lash out from the gloom of the courtyards towards you. Does a 21 hit?
Yeah.
Okay, that is going to be 12 plus. So that is 19 cold.
Back to bloody. Talus lets out 8.
Okay.
Ooh, painful
And
groan.
Andrew and Talus, sorry, I've got some more bad news. This umbral grasp does reduce a d6 of strength as well.
Well, that's good, because I'm not really using it.
Good. Didn't it? Anyway.
It reduces. Okay.
So that is under. That's 4 from you, and 2 from you, Talus. Okay. As the creature just hisses, like,
What have you come here to do, you pathetic creatures? Let me draw you and welcome you into the shadows' embrace.
and he reaches out towards you there, and then that is going to be Talus's turn. The creature
Talus
is
is gonna.
15 feet away from you.
Yeah, now he's going to turn on it with his bow and back to hell with you. Let's see. First attack. That's a AC 26.
That'll do it.
10 points of damage,
Nice.
and he quickly follows it up with the second arrow.
But that's not magical, right?
Non-magical, yeah.
Okay, so it's resisted to 5. Second shot. Turbo's like, steak!
Natural 20.
next 5 with the steak emoji as well. Nice. Natural 20. Nice, excellent. Give me that full damage plus a
And
dice roll.
another 10 points of damage.
Okay, again resisted to 5. Alright, thank you. Anything else, Tus?
Yeah, because I'm not awake. I should have thrown Hunter's Mark on it first.
Ah.
Well.
Next time.
But yeah,
So
that's fine. Wait for
what
next one.
does Favored Foe do? Sorry, I haven't played a Ranger. I'm
Favored
about to play a
Foe
Ranger
actually
as
doesn't
of
do.
November, so.
Favored Foe doesn't actually do much for me on the attack. However, if they start talking in Infernal, I can understand them.
Oh, okay.
I also have what is it? There's. I think I also am better at tracking them.
I see. Got you. So it's more of an out of combat thing. Okay.
Yeah, advantage on survival check to track them.
Gotcha. Thank you. That brings us to Timo. Anders on deck.
You think you can come in here to my beloved queen's palace and strut about the place like you own it?
Based on where I'm hearing, can I kind of judge where he is?
He's visible at the moment. He broke.
Visible?
Yeah, he broke.
Very far.
I believe. Hang on, let's double check. Oh, nice, good idea. I'm just going to double check that. Shadow Blend. When in dim light or darkness, he can hide as a bonus action, even whilst being observed. Strike from shadow. Does the Umbral Vampire's Umbral Grasp when the vampire and the target are in dim light. And the umbral vampires. Yeah, it just says when it attacks if it's hidden. Making a melee attack breaks stealth. So yep.
My action is Fairy Fire, and then I'm gonna basically try kind of like get close to Tullus and kind of like hide between his legs. You know, yeah, you can do that.
Gotcha. So that's a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, dex
Okay.
save 13.
It's 13. He spins melodramatically and dodges and moves out of the way of the sparkling lights that fill the chamber, even as he shies away from the bright light. And with a 17, he dodges, I'm afraid.
Alright, and like I said, my bonus action be hide.
Okay, roll me that stealth check. And Ander, whilst that's happening, what are you doing?
Again, you said we had a -4 penalty to strength, correct?
That was, I'm afraid.
Okay. Ander will look at the vampire and say, soon you'll be sent back to your dark embrace, and I'm going to attack him twice.
28, by the way.
Nice.
So a 16 on the first, a 20 on the second.
They both hit.
Damage on the first, and 6 on the second. Awful damage.
Bad luck. Okay, so yeah, you cut into the creature, but that does bloody it. It is
And that will
looking
end
a bit
Ander's
worse for
turn.
wear. Okay. And yes, you finish up there. Okay, and that brings us to the vampire's form turn there. And as the arrows like catch it, and it's just like looks down at them, like resisting the damage, just like pulls it out of its flesh. It's like, how dare you ruin this suit? This was a present from Granny Nightshade herself. I see. If you are going to do this, then I shall need a little help. Come, my friends, come, creatures of shadow, join me and destroy these interlopers. And it reaches out a pale hand to the crystal, drawing shadow energy for it, which forms into vaguely humanoid shapes as, let's see how many here. The 3 shadows are drawn from the crystal's energies and come ghosting out and join the fray. You think it might be a bad idea to ignore the crystal. The crystal's up there. It is definitely giving him power and allowing him to draw other beings into the mix.
Can we see this?
You see this happen, yes.
Alright. Holler and focus on the crystal. We'll take him.
Okay. And then he's going to use his bonus action to disappear into the shadows again. Hopefully. Let's see how we go. Okay, let's roll there. So, tell us. Because there are 3 shadows. There's the crystal, and the corrupted umbral vampire has disappeared.
3 shadows. Do I have any reason to believe that my arrows are even going to affect these things?
You would imagine so. Yes, the undead creatures do seem to have some sort of magical energy that holds them together in this material world.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to pop Hunter's Mark on the one that is closest to Ander.
Okay.
Because I want to try to ward them off of him. So...
On the shadow.
And... I'll attack. First one is AC 24.
That'll definitely hit. It's double.
Alright. That's 2 points, or actually, I'm sorry, that's 6 points of damage from the arrow,
Nice.
and an additional 4 from the hunter's mark.
Oh, lovely. Okay, excellent. That's already looking very wistful, whereas your magical energies like just flare and tear through its form.
And then the second arrow is a nat 20.
Haha, excellent. Same one.
So that is 15 points of damage from the arrow.
Fantastic. As we like to say here on the channel, Talis, tell me what happens as your arrow tears this thing newly formed from shadow and quickly returns to them.
So, yeah, Talus quickly identifies to Ander, who he's hoping can take care of this crystal, looses 2 arrows. The first one tears through the side of the creature. The second one hits a dead center, causing it to dissipate or fall as it goes right through.
Yes, and as the arrow hits home and the hunter's mark energy just flares, yeah, just that kind of energy just makes it just shimmer and dissipates out into the various shadows around. Okay. Nice. And I'll just quickly do this. Right, so that brings us to Timo.
Alright, shoot.
2 shadows, a crystal. And
Shoot at the next closest shadow.
Okay, go for it.
That will be a total of a 20, dirty 20.
That will hit.
Only a 5.
5. Okay. That slams into the creature. Okay, anything else?
And then bonus action hide again.
Okay, noted. And Ander.
Okay, so Ander will change his attention from the vampire in the shadows and begin to lash out at the crystal.
Please do.
First one is an 8.
Misses, I'm afraid.
Gosh, awful rolls. 9.
Also misses. You bring your massive axe and just like slam, but the way the crystals cut and the shadows that kind of play off its surface kind of distort your vision of it, and you hit it just the wrong angle. It just glances harmlessly off the side of the crystal the first time. Next time you focus a bit more, but slam in, and just the solid wall of crystal. The edge of the crystal here is just too tough, and you're not able to bust through, I'm afraid. Okay.
By the way, I was net 20 for a total 29 on my stealth.
Nice. Timo who? Okay. Never heard of him. Okay, and anything else there under?
No, that's it for Ander.
Okay. The umbral vampire is going to appear behind you, Ander, and is like, oh, why would you fuss with that little thing? It is but a bauble, a little trinket, a show of my affection for Granny Nightshade. And the umbral grasp reaches towards you as the shadows wrap around you. And that is going to be 21.
That
So
will hit.
there's 14 cold damage.
Okay, so I'll half that to 7.
And 1 strength gone.
Right, got it.
And then he's going to, as soon as he appears, just disappear, shimmering into the shadows again.
And you'll see Ander's body shiver in reaction to the cold damage.
Okay. Who's got Talis? Timo, what are your passive perceptions? Hey, Mac.
Passive perception is 15.
Okay, and sorry, Timo, yours?
17.
17, okay. He's like, yes, I shall solely sap your energy and drain you and drag you into the shadows with me. And Andrew disappears from view for you. Talis and Timo, you can still see him. He's not so shadowy as he thinks. Okay, so that brings us to the shadows. They're going to ghost forward. Let's see who they go for. First one's going for Timo.
Can't see me.
That's a good point, yes. Bad news for you, Talus. Sorry. and then the other one will go for our barbarian friend Ander, as they come ghosting towards you both, drawing with their strength drain attacks, reaching out. Talus does 11 hits.
11 does not hit.
Yes, you quickly draw back and scuttle out of the way, and only a 9 against you, Ander. You both
Nice.
escape there, and okay, and that brings us to Talus. You have a shadow in front of you, the crystal over the way, and a melodramatic vampire thinking he's hidden is like just doing his fingers like.
Yeah, the right now that shadow is a little concerning. So he's going to move his hunter's mark over to the shadow that is
Gotcha.
entirely too close to him for comfort.
Fair.
First arrow. That's an AC 26.
Nice.
12 points on the arrow itself,
Okay.
and an additional 4 on the hunter's mark.
Excellent. So 16 halved to 8. Oh no, the hunter's mark damage is magical, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's that's going to be enough then. Your arrow just again punctures through the shadowy creature. The hunter's mark magically flares, and that radiant energy just dissipates the shadow, and it is destroyed.
All right. What's closer to me now, the vampire or the? Actually, well, the vampire is closing in on Ander, correct?
Yes, the shadow and Anders are next to the crystal, and then the vampire is between you and them.
Talus is like, I'm going to regret this, but he fires on the vampire.
Go for it.
AC 28.
Hits.
That's 8 on the. Got to change the hunter's mark over to him. That's fine.
We can do that. It's okay.
Bonus action.
Yeah, you can do that. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. So let's see. That's 8 on the arrow, 4 on the hunter's mark. I'm so not used to playing rangers.
So the arrow is resisted, the hunter's mark is not, for a total of 8 damage there. Okay, nice. So yeah, the arrow again just cuts right into. He turns, he's like, but I am invisible, I am one with the shadows. How can this be? And he just looks very, very perturbed that you can see him. Okay, thank you. And that brings us to Timo.
I'm gonna follow suit my felt with the ranger there, and I'm gonna shoot the vampire.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, not good. 10.
And misses, I'm afraid. Now, did you roll with advantage because you were hidden?
Oh, forgot about that.
Aha.
You're right.
Happy wagon. Bold solutions for bold problems.
4.
That'll do it.
So that's a total 1d6 plus 4. That's a total of 5. Magical from a magical arrow.
Okay.
What is it? Since I'm hidden, 2d6 sneak attack. 7 more.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, that arrow thuds home. He's like, what is happening? I am one with the shadows. There's no possible way you could. No. And yes, sir.
And then, of course, hide again.
No problem.
All right, so Ander will get a little more upset and really try to focus this time on this crystal.
Yes. Rage.
All right, so that one is a 16
Hits.
and then a 7.
Okay, just the first one.
So the first one does 7 points of damage.
Okay. There's a slight cracking on the surface, and you hear the vampire call out, clearly abandoning all pretense of being hidden as it seems to be visible to the others. He's like, No, you'll not. You cannot. We have such plans, my love and I. We have such plans. And anything else on your turn?
That will end it for Ander.
Okay. If I cannot be one with the shadows and hide, then you shall. Timoya, how'd you go?
John, just real quick. I'm in the next game. We're Scott Casper here. Starts up in about 30 minutes, so just FYI.
I know the time. Yep, I know the time. Okay. Right, so, the vampire spins, its cloak twirling out behind it dramatically, and it looks at you, Timo, and Talus. He's like, how dare you? How dare you? And he draws the shadows from the crystal, and they go shrieking across the cobblestones of the courtyard and come surging up around you as he casts Evard's black tentacles on you both. I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw.
Who's that for, John?
Timo and Talus.
That is a 17 for Talus.
Okay. And Timo?
Only an 11.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so you dodge out of the way, Talus, but Timo, the tentacles catch you, and you are restrained, and you take 11 bludgeoning damage.
Noted.
I have a question.
Hey, Mike.
Does the stuff that he's doing, I mean, like him using the crystal, does there seem to be a verbal component to it, or is it just he's basically just?
Yeah, he called forth these shadow creatures. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Curious. Okay, the shadow is going to go for you again, Ander. Just the one that's left here, with its strength drain. But it's only a 6. These cannot roll well at all.
Nice. At least it goes both ways.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. So, that happens there, and that brings us to Talus. What are you pondering, sir?
Talus is going to look at the umbral vampire and say, "Would you please shut up and cast silence spell on it?"
Ah! Is there a
It's sphere. It's a 20-foot sphere,
Okay.
20-foot radius sphere centered on the vampire.
Okay, and there's no save or anything, right? It's just silence.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not seeing anything about a save.
Okay. You can still see him gesturing melodramatically and clearly spouting off about something, but you can't hear him anymore. Okay. Noted. Thank you. And Timo.
Let me try to shoot him again. Oh, actually, I'm restrained. I can still.
Yeah, you're restrained. You can use your action to try and escape. That's all.
Okay. Let me. What would that be?
Dex, acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
Acrobatics.
Okay.
I'll say 30-20.
Nice. Okay, you slip out of the tentacles and are free, but that was your action. Anything else?
Okay. Yeah, my bonus action hide again.
Okay.
Not so good this time. Only. Well. Oh no, it's advantage. Hold on. It's my cloak.
Oh, sorry, Talus. Are you staying in the tentacles because they're still around you?
Oh no! Yeah, I'm moving out of them.
Okay, you will have to. You were there one more round, so you would have to make one more save. Sorry.
Okay. Another dexterity save.
Yes, just as you started your turn there.
19.
Okay, yeah, you nimbly dodge out of the way.
Yeah, I would move out of the tentacles.
Yeah, no problem. Both of you shift out of the way there. Okay,
My stealth.
done. And Ander.
Okay, so silence affects whatever's in that cube, right? I'm assuming I'm standing next to the vampire.
Talus, does it reach Ander or not?
It's a 20-foot radius. I did a sphere 20-foot radius around the vampire, so if he's within 20 feet, yeah.
Okay, so you'll see him basically mouthing and screaming. You can see the intensity of his blood pressure increase as the red fills his face.
Love it.
So first attack is a 22.
Love it.
Second attack is a 19. So
Both hit.
right, that is a total.
+2 on both of those for the damage, right? For the raging.
Yeah, so that's actually, and I've been missing that, thank you. So that's 19, 21 total damage on the crystal.
Oof. Okay, yeah, so you just roaring silently, just like slam your great axe into this large, dark, pulsating crystal here, and it is starting to fracture and crack all along the side that you're attacking there, and you can see the vampire just like desperately like shouting, but silently in your general direction. Okay, and it is going to attempt to hide with its bonus action as it disappears into the shadows. That's better. And then as it disappears into the shadow and shifts around, Ander, it's going to go for you just because you're attacking the crystal.
Sure.
With that Umbral Grasp again. Only a 13.
Will not connect.
He's just silently, he's like... It makes our peeing them much easier. Thank you, Talis.
You're welcome.
Okay.
No.
And the shadow is going to attack as well. And sorry, everyone, they're very protective of this crystal. This is the whole focus of this thing here. So it goes for its trying to get that strength drain again. Sorry, Timo, is your cover or something brushing up against the mic? There's a lot of like noise as if something's brushing against the mic. Okay, that was better. That was better though. Only a 13 under that misses, right?
Yes, that misses.
I don't think the shadows have hit once. They're not doing well. Okay. Note it's done, and that brings us to Talis.
Yeah, no, let's take a shot at the vampire. Actually, both the shadows and the vampire are close to him, right?
Yes.
Let's get rid of the shadows, and if he's going to be quiet
Okay.
and can't cast anymore, let's try to cut some of them down.
Go for it.
So, his first attack, AC 16.
Hits.
That's 12 points of damage. No Hunter's Mark because he had to drop the Hunter's Mark in order to cast Silence.
Gotcha.
And second attack, that's AC 13.
Hits. The arrows go flying, tearing through the silence.
7 points of damage.
Okay, and it is being torn to pieces, even though it's resisting the damage somewhat. It's just tearing through whatever that magical force is that keeps it together, and the shadow energy that is keeping it together, and it is starting to look and a little frayed around the edges there. And that brings us to Timo.
I'm gonna keep shooting the vampire.
Go for it.
Assuming a 13 is gonna miss.
It just misses, I'm afraid.
Right, then the bonus attack.
Okay. And Ander, back to you.
Alright, Ander is still in silence. It's going to swing. First attack is a 19.
Hits.
Second attack is a 21.
Both hits.
There's 6. So 13 total damage to the crystal.
Okay, so yes, you're slamming your great axe into it again and again, just and it starts to chip and break and fracture, and as it dips below half of its damage threshold there, you start to see some sort of dark energy seeping from the cracks, escaping from out of the fissures in the broken crystal here, and you feel yourself straining against it as the dark essence of this magical artifact is trying to force you back in some sort of desperate final act of self-preservation. The vampire is going to hide away and just silently come over to you, just like it's just like just tearing towards you, trying to get you with those with that umbral grasp. And the shadows reach out desperately for you again, and against you, Ander, and that's going to be only a 14.
Does not connect.
Okay.
Dodging.
Like, yeah, whatever that prayer was, it did the trick, man. It's like some radiant force, these celestial energies is looking over you here, as these umbral tentacles just reach out towards you, trying to drain your strength, sap your energy and your will to push on. But it is unable to get through to you. As I think actually, like, there is like a shimmering kind of radiant light because you're facing away from the vampire, right? You're just like focused. You're just like raging, slamming against the crystal, and these shadows are reaching for you and just being forced back by this almost like shimmering shield of radiant light that is forming around you as you come close to succeeding in your goal. Okay, and that is gonna be the shadow's turn. Come on, shadow. Just one hit before you die. 23, there we go.
That will hit.
Okay, you take 7 necrotic damage.
Alright, so I'll half that to 3 or 4. 3.5, so round down to 3.
Down to 3, yeah. And again, also a strength drain, I'm afraid. But only 2.
Okay.
2 points off the strength. How's your strength drain?
It is at 9.
Oof. Okay, yes. Talus, Timo, you can see the vampire's magics and this shadowy creature just draining the very life force from Ander as he rages and just battles against the crystal again, slamming it and again, but his swings becoming slower, weaker, as his very life force is sapped away from him. And Talus, it's your turn.
All right. Yeah. Gotta get rid of that shadow. That one shadow. That's AC 12.
Against the shadow. Meets it, beats it.
All right. Nice. That's 12 points of damage.
Excellent. It is torn to pieces and screams, again, silently, as it dissipates into the shadows.
And with the calmness of his hunting years, he turns it to his next target. The vampire, AC 22.
Done.
And 10 points of damage.
Okay. Nice. The vampire is also looking very badly wounded. All these black feathered bolts just like sticking out of its back as the arrows are just like porcupining out of its back there. Just his various spines. It's just like all of its energy is just focused on Ander, trying to stop him attacking this crystal. And that brings us to Timo.
Alright. Keep shooting the vampire.
Go for it.
Nat 20.
Nice.
So that would be let's see, 1d6, so it's 10 plus a d6. Total of an 11.
Okay, nicely done. So yes, you slam into the creature, and the arrow just goes thudding home, and you see that the vampire is on its last legs, looks absolutely terrified as the arrow just like sticks right into its neck, and it's just like silently screaming in pain. Okay, that brings us to you, Ander. The crystal starts to fracture. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. As this dark energy is just leaking from the damaged crystal, it's just like
that is a 9.
Just like washing against you. Okay, I'm afraid you take. Let's see here, 8 necrotic damage.
Okay.
As this negative energy just streams forth from the damaged crystal, just like washing against you like a buffeting wind in the silence of this spell. And as it does so, what do you do?
So as this begins to wash over me, my rage increases, and I shun off most of that attack. And at this point, I'm going to turn my attacks to reckless, so I can get advantage on them as I attack. It's a good thing because that is a natural 1, so I can reroll that one anyway. So that's a 19
better.
to hit.
Love it.
Second attack is, let's see, there's 17. Let's see if I can get a natural 20. No, so 2 that hit then.
So just so with your strength drained there, your acrobatics is now better than your athletics.
7 and 9, so 16 total damage to the crystal.
Okay. Oh, again, massive chunks of it start to fall off. The dark shadow writhing at its very core starts to spill over, being siphoned back through the portal into the Shadowfell. It is very, very badly damaged and just clinging together as the last remnants of it are hovering there, sparking with this dark energy. Okay, and Talus, Timo, you see the vampire just mouth wide shut, fangs poking out of its jawline, just screaming in absolute panic. It looks up to the towers, claw-like up in the sky above, fearing his love's wrath as he sees the end of the crystal so close. He heaves and he looks at Ander with absolute complete hatred. And just like roaring silently as he charges towards Ander and tries to tackle him through the archway and into the Shadowfell. Ander, I need you to make me an acrobatics check.
13.
13. Okay. I'm gonna roll this.
Actually, hold on 1 second. I do have advantage, I believe, on deck saves while I rage. Let's see. There's something that I get to do that. Danger sense? No, never mind.
No.
You do get
Okay,
D6
that's it.
inspiration.
Inspiration?
Bardic inspiration. I gave him at the beginning.
I used that one already.
No, it
was-
started this combat. Did you use it this combat?
No.
Yeah, because he did inspire you as you started.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be making an 18.
An 18. Okay, folks. The vampire is going to be using its try and force you through the portal here. I decided to do this before I looked at the stat block. An umbral vampire has a strength of 1. So I'm going to say on a natural 20, it will be successful. Okay, as we edge towards the era of 1D&D where a natural 20 is a success on anything, let us playtest this for wizards. If I'm going to roll this in chat, okay, I've got the command here in chat so everyone can see. If this is a natural 20, the vampire, in all of its panicked rage, will be able to tackle Ander through the veil like Sirius Black into the shadowy curtain that is suspended between the mouldering stones. If it's anything else, he will be unsuccessful.
No whammy.
Okay, here we go. 5! No. So for a grand total of 0, he just screams like just goes charging towards you silently, and you just feel this impact against your back. It doesn't even move. It doesn't even move you. It was a 0. I got a 0. It just impacts off your back and just falls to the cobblestones on his knees, pounding at the cobblestones with his manicured, nailed hands. He looks like he's just tearing out his hair in anguish as he is unable to protect this artifact of his love. And that brings us to Talus. What do you do?
Talus looks at the vampire, and he's having a hard time not laughing at this point. He'd probably be laughing. He probably would be laughing if it wasn't the fact that he can see Ander struggling. But he looks at it and says, "Back to the abyss, you impotent pincushion," and fires 2 arrows at it.
Okay, go for it. It has 5 HP left.
Might not need the second one. Nope.
Nice.
That's 12, so 6.5. If you had 5 left.
Talus, tell me what happens.
Talus takes aim, and again, like I said, back to the pincushion, and puts it right through the side of the big open mouth vampire's face. One through the to the other. The arrow flies true.
Just destroying it. Yes, and as it pierces through this lifeless flesh, this strengthless flesh that we see in this creature, it does just fall dramatically in slow motion towards the cobblestones. You see it reach up towards one of the towers, where you can see a balcony, and on that balcony is a hunched, cowled figure looking down at all of you. Timo, what do you do?
Well, actually, I was about to go, but because I got to get to the next game. But I will. Let's see. Vampires down. What's the range to hit on the balcony?
It's very high. It's just the crystal. The crystal is still intact. It's very badly damaged, but is still just clinging together.
Let me shoot the crystal.
Okay, go for it.
That's a total of an 11.
11 is not enough, I'm afraid. It just ricochets off the glossy surface, and you have withstood the trials, tribulations, the attacks of the enraged vampire, the negative energy streaming forth from the damaged crystal. Make your final attack.
Is the silence off?
Thomas?
Actually, when a vampire falls, yeah, I'll let the silence drop.
Okay. So yeah, just
Okay.
as it just
And
goes,
Talus yells, "Do it! Do it now!"
and just, you just
No.
hear Anders roar.
Yeah, you'll hear him roar and just say, "For the last time." Not with that. And then one more swing. Oh my goodness, not with that either.
What were they?
7 and a 5.
Total?
Horrible.
Boy.
Well, that brings us nicely to the end of the turn order. For the end of the round, Talus, what do you do?
It's like, really? Talus goes to
All that?
shoot the, see if he can shoot the thing. Something, mumbling something about, do I have to do everything? Nat 20!
Yes.
There you go.
That's the way to finish it. Okay. As Talus's arrow is drawn back, the bowstring creaking as the bow is curving back, there's a satisfying whoop as the string is unleashed. The arrow sparking, just straighting through the air over Anders' shoulder, slams into the shadowy core around the remnants of the crystal, and with a last dark burst of negative energy, the remnants of shadow and the little pieces of remaining crystal are drawn through the portal in the stones and vanish. And the figure up on the balcony gestures, and shadows swirl around it in a small little vortex, and it disappears and reappears down in the courtyard near all of you. As Granny Nightshade herself steps forward.
I knew these idiot vampires would be the end of my best laid plans. Do not think your deeds will go unpunished.
And she just gestures violently with long, viciously curved, nailed fingers, and the cobblestones crack and buckle as bony arms and fingers and half-rotted arms of undead claw their way up through the very ground around you. There are dozens and dozens of them between you and the gateway. And the only exit from this courtyard is a stone archway with a pitch-black, impenetrable curtain of darkness, the portal to a different realm. The three of you look at each other. You've gotten out of tighter scrapes than this. It's just a quick jaunt through the Shadowfell, right? Find another shadow crossing? Back for tea and pints at the pub. As the zombies claw their way out, the skeletons stagger forwards, their rusty blades glinting, reaching for you, and Granny Nightshade summons some foul magics to finish these interlopers, these ones that have destroyed her plans. The three of you look, your eyes meet, you nod, and you dash towards the stone archway. You disappear through the dark, into the Shadowfell, and on to new adventures for another day. So,
Ander will turn around to the rest of the guys after we step through and look at both of you and say, "Thank you for having my back. Don't know what was going on there. I seem to have lost my strength. Couldn't find my bearing."
Those things pack quite a punch, or seem to anyway.
and the three of you look out on the desolate landscape stretching beyond you. Somehow, if this is even possible, a darker reflection of the Dreadwood on the material plane. And you look at the Shadowfell reaching out in front of you and dash off through the trees in search of another shadow crossing, in search of one of the fabled shadow roads, of perhaps one of the courts of the Winter Fae, somewhere that you can take refuge, recover, and fight your way back to Oath, back to Kierland, back to Saltmarsh, if for nothing else than to collect your reward. And we shall leave you there. A massive, massive thank you to my players, to all of you that have joined us here for this opening session of this year's Virtual Greyhawk Con. An absolute joy to get things rolling here. Thank you so much for jumping in and watching along with us and cheering on with those emotes and everything, all of these fine adventurers here. Do have yourselves an absolutely spectacular weekend, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the festivities, all of the incredible sessions, the panels, the games, the creative streams. It is going to be an absolutely spectacular, wonderful weekend of D&D and Greyhawk lore to enjoy for you all. We will be back next week with our regular campaigns. I shall not bore you with the full rundown. You can check out our schedule on the page if you are interested. We are Phoenix Iweki. We play lots of D&D throughout the week. We have some lore streams and book reading streams. Jump in if you would like. There is a Discord. You can find out everything that's going on. We have exciting charity stuff coming up towards the end of the year. We have guest games, a fan of Lord Gosumba and one of his favourites as well, the spectacular Darling Creep Show, will be joining us for Halloween shenanigans next month. And we are going to be rolling on here into the rest of the weekend. So, thank you, Grim, my friend. Yes, there is the Discord. A massive shout out to our wonderful friends at Troll Lord Games. Thank you for joining us in the chat as well. There is their incredible website of all their things there. Here is the incredible Kickstarter that they have going on at the moment. Do head on over there and give them your support. Absolutely fantastic Mythos series book coming out all about the Chinese legends and monsters and all sorts of amazing things going on there, do give that Kickstarter your support if you can. And let us say a preemptive thank you for 2 lucky people, as we are going to draw our winners for the giveaway today. So I am closing up those entries. Good luck, everybody. Boop. Okay, good luck, everyone. So we have two prizes from Troll Lord Games heading out to folks today. The first is going to Phantom and Jay. That sounds a familiar name. Okay. So, I think they're in chat. Yeah, are they still in chat? Yeah, I think so. Okay, and one more. I know, isn't it? Isn't it rigged? I mean, that's what you get for getting a natural 20 on the final killing blow of the game. Just rewards, just rewards. And the second of our 2 prizes today goes to Mooncloud5733, regular here on the channel. Absolute pleasure as always. Congratulations, Mooncloud. We will be getting that to you as soon as we can. Congratulations, everyone. Absolute pleasure as always. Do stick around, as we are going to go raiding into our fellow convention gamers here. I believe the wonderful folks over at Bipolar Dice Roller are enjoying themselves some Spelljammer fun in Grey Space. So, if you want to see what Spelljammer looks like in the Greyhawk world, then let us head on over there and see just what is going on. Phantom NG, it's Kirsty. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a good session.
Thank you, John. It was fantastic.
Absolute pleasure as always. Our other Phantom in the game there, too excited about today's events and overlapping himself a little bit there, has dashed off to more adventures already. And everyone else, I hope you too can have a fantastic weekend of all sorts of adventures. We will see you all again very, very soon. But, as we like to say around these plates here, stick around for the raid. If you've got them, let those phoenixes fly. But till next time, as we like to say around these parts, oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi! Goodbye! Thank you!